Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Vitality Secret podcast. I'm here today and delighted to be interviewing Nick Burns, who is a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 2. And she's a little bit older than me and looks about 10 years younger than me, which I think is pretty incredible. And I'm really excited to be interviewing her because she has reversed her lupus, from which she suffered for many, many years. And we met at a biohacking meetup in London a few months ago. And we just got talking, and these kind of conversations come up when you're at this kind of event, which, by the way, if you're in London, go to that. It's amazing. So we got talking, and she explained to me how she'd done this. And I just thought, hey, can I interview you on my podcast? And she said, of course. So here we are. So I'm really excited to have her on to share her knowledge and wisdom with you. So welcome, Nick. Thank you for joining me. Really happy you're here.
Thank you for having me, Neil. I'm really excited.
Great. So yeah, without further ado, I'd love you to give a bit of a background, and how you got it. Well, maybe start with the symptoms, or how you were beforehand. Do you remember the trigger and stuff?
Well, I can remember being in pain from as young as 3. So going right back to the age of 3. Especially during the winter, I'd have what I call winter pains. So pains in my legs, pains in my arms, and my mum would have to wrap old nappies, the terry towel nappies that we used to have, heat them up, wrap them around the joints to keep them warm, to stop the pain. And that was kind of a progression right through life. I got used to being in pain. So it cycles, come and go, mainly during the winter. The doctor said it was growing pains. I had growths on my knees. Bones started sticking out my knees. And I used to ride horses. And we'd wear long riding boots that'd stick in to the bone. They said they'd operate, take the growth out. But I didn't want a scar on my knee. I was probably 10, 11, 12 at the time. So we declined. Which, ironically, they've disappeared as I got older. Bit more into the biohacking, they disappeared. Then it was around 2007. I was on holiday, and like usual, feet swell on the plane. I was always used to that, and I'd have a couple of days they'd swell and they'd release. But this time it didn't, and the foot stayed swollen, and I had to, vanity was gone. I had to buy Crocs to wear on holiday to fit my feet in.
Wow.
And that led on to finding out it was lupus that I'd been living with for all these years. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd also had the tiredness. My hair was always falling out, blisters on my tongue. There were a lot of different symptoms with the lupus, many, many symptoms. I had quite a few of them.
So that was, wow. I didn't realize it was pretty much from the age of 3. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what was the diagnosis? Did you have that done at
So they originally thought I'd been bitten by a spider. So I was put on antibiotics and different medications, and then they sent me to a rheumatologist. My thought was, rheumatologist, that's bones, and that might tell me why I've always had these aches and pains. Went to a rheumatologist, thought nothing of it really. I just thought it was probably going to be a waste of time. And when I went back for the results, they sat me down in the office with the consultants, all sat around, and said, the good news is you don't have arthritis. What you do have is a condition called lupus. So my face dropped, and his reaction was, oh, I gather you know what lupus is. And why I knew what lupus was, 4 years prior, one of my best friends, Lindsay, she died because of lupus.
Oh my goodness.
She was diagnosed when we were 18 with lupus SLE, which is what I've got. And the SLE was it's where it attacks your organs and your skin. So even though I'm quite dark skinned, if I went in the sun, I'd be blistered on my arms, my chest, my legs, unbelievable blisters. Like, well, they said it was prickly heat, but mine would bleed, and it was just awful. So that's what Lindsay had. Her skin conditions were different. Lindsay was on about 25 drugs a day, and she would go from a size 8 to a size 18, back to a size 8, and died. So my thought was, oh my God,
Goodness.
I'm going to die.
How old was she?
28 when she died.
Wow.
Yeah. So she was flown. She died the December after September the 11th. She was on a flight. As we do, we need to wear flight socks and whatever when we fly long haul. And she was flying to Vegas to get married. The Twin Towers went down and they were diverted to Canada. And then she was flown to different places without her flight socks. And when she came home, found out she had a blood clot in her leg. And then she just deteriorated. She had part of her leg taken out. She was going to have a limp forever. And she got a bug and another bug, and then her organs failed. And she died on December the 18th.
Goodness.
So, yeah.
Wow. So you were witness to that. Right. So you were witness to that, and then you had the diagnosis. So I can only imagine the reaction you had when your doctor told you that.
Which he seen my reaction.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you know what lupus is?" And I thought, "Oh God, I'm going to die."
Wow.
And right away they were saying, medication this, medicate that. We can give you this, we can give you that. It'll stop your hair falling out. It'll stop you feeling tired. And it all sounded great. But, vanity, going back when I was younger, I had an eating disorder. My thought was, I'm not going fat. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die thin. There's no way that these steroids are going to make me, go to a size 18. And that's where the research began.
Right.
However, I'd started to research just before I was diagnosed with lupus, anti-aging. I'd read in a magazine that Posh Spice ate Brazil nuts, salmon and tomatoes and whatever. And I thought, I'm never going to have Botox. I'm never going to have all this facelift. So we began to research how I can stay young through food. And ironically, when I researched lupus, how to change your diet for lupus, it was very similar to anti-aging. And that led me onto the road where I reversed lupus and obviously my passion of anti-aging. So
was the basis of that an anti-inflammatory lifestyle?
Yeah. I actually didn't know what I was doing, if I'm honest. It was, I fumbled my way through it for years, just trying different foods, cutting out gluten, wheat.
Was that the first thing you did?
Yeah, that was the first thing I did. I was unaware of sugar at that time. I came a long time afterwards. But yeah, that's what I did.
On the gluten thing, it still blows my mind how many health conditions can be reversed with that being the primary culprit to remove. Yeah. I mean, it's just extraordinary. I've helped people with skin conditions, particularly since like 2015, as well as lots of other conditions like type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, arthritis, gout, lots of things. And one of the first things is always lupus. What is gluten? Gluten. And it just has this profound effect. Yeah, particularly, in America, it's gone through this mutagenesis. So it's been completely mutated from its original form. And and some people, you probably heard this, some people can go to America and they'll get bloating in their stomach and all sorts of side effects, and then they go to Italy and they're fine. Although that's if you're mildly intolerant to it.
It depends.
And for you, you must have noticed. Did you notice results fairly quickly when you removed that?
No. And I think at the time life was pretty stressful. And I had younger children. Life was busy trying to look after them. And if one was in swimming, one was in dance, one was singing, and they were both there at the same time. And it's like, how do I do these things at once? So life was a roller coaster. I was very tired, which is part of any autoimmune disease is the severe tiredness. So trying to cope with that and learn and probably some of the time I wasn't fueling myself properly with the correct food. So you cut something out, you have to swap it for something that's nutritionist, and I didn't do that. So it was I say a long time. I took the medication. I went to the consultant, and he said, "Oh, you might feel sick after this medication. It'll take a few days." So I took it one day, and then I thought, no, I just every day pop the pill, let everyone think I was taking the pill. And then I went back to him on my own without family with me who were pressuring me into taking the medication. And then he just said, I've got a lot of stress going on in my life at the moment. Give me 6 months. And if the ANAs are still really strong and the, the SLE is still showing, I'll take the medication. So I didn't go back after 6 months. I went back after 12 months. And so by then he was quite shocked and said it was just steady, stable. Come back in 6 months, which I didn't again. Give me another 12 months. So it was a slow process until he finally said, okay, I'll let you go and come back to me if you have any problems. And they did reoccur. And again, it was a journey of learning about food and nutrition and making mistakes. So after cutting wheat and gluten out, things were great, but then we got the devil, the sugar. And obviously that was having an impact on my diet too, but I didn't know. I was swapping certain foods for maybe a healthy cereal bar covered in yogurt, but
right,
just a sugar bomb. So I'd say the last 5 years I've been majority symptom free.
Nice.
And then they said one doctor said, oh, you must have been misdiagnosed. One said you've gone into remission. One said, oh no, you've got another autoimmune which has flagged up. I think it's APS that marries up with lupus, but there is no evidence of lupus SLE in my blood at the moment.
Amazing.
Been the last few years. Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's just incredible. Like, not many people do this. They go against their doctor's advice and say, look, I'm not doing that. And I think it must have helped in a weird way seeing your friend, perish.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like she had a purpose there to show you something. So would you say, I guess, between 6 months and a year, you started to really notice improvements? You went on did you say gluten-free and dairy-free and anti-inflammatory, sugar-free kind of diet?
Slowly. I did it slowly because I wasn't educated, and not many, no doctors are educated in nutrition, are they? So it was a slow process. Had I had the knowledge I've got now, a couple of months and I think I'd have been symptom-free. So it was a slow process for me because I'd learned about cutting wheat and gluten out, and then I'd learned about, dairy. But it was a journey. Whereas now I can sit with someone and say, if you cut this out for a few days, I think it's hard to say to someone, cut wheat, gluten, dairy, sugar.
Oh, totally.
A lot of people say, well, what's the point of living?
What am I going to eat?
Yeah.
It's quite a shock to do it all at once.
Yeah. But if you can do it systematically over a couple of weeks to reap the benefits is worth more than anything, isn't it, really? So my journey was a lot longer because of knowledge. And I think back then it was 2007. We only just started with computers in your room. I mean, there was no smartphones at the time. There was no asking Google. Now we just, we Google everything, don't we? Ask, it brings you to, bring you to yourself. It can bring you to Josh Axe. It can bring you to Mark Heim. It can bring you to anybody.
Exactly,
but then there was no access to any knowledge.
It's really incredible. That's such a good point, because we can go to Dr. Google and go, show me how to reverse lupus.
Exactly.
Right. Let's see if these people are reputable. Let's read how this person did it. Let's read how this person did it. There's
people are so lucky nowadays.
We're so lucky. There's books on radical cancer remissions, like stage 4 cancer. You know, radical remission's a brilliant one for that, and I recommend it to anyone who's got cancer.
Right.
No, I think there's a strong case for understanding Western medicine, for getting the diagnosis. That's really important, and then you can just go, right. They're trained this way. Then I'm going to go and do my research over here.
Exactly.
And that's what that's,
we can't blame the medical industry, can we? Because that's what they're trained to fix something, not prevent.
Yes.
And I remember I've studied a lot with Dr. Sarah Gottfried, who's an American gynecologist, conventional term functional. Well, she does both. And she said, she was Harvard trained. They got 30 minutes of nutrition during their university. So you don't know any difference. And I've probably been marched out quite a few doctor surgeries over the years because they don't agree with what I've got to say. So I finally found a doctor who listened to me and then laughed and joked with me. And he said, actually, Nick, you're the most knowledgeable patient I've ever had. So they will be the most vocal patient you've ever had. And I actually said to him, you know what, you've got that badge. You go and study functional. People will listen to you before they listen to me because you've got that doctor badge there. You know, you can help people. People will listen. And he did. That's it. He's resigned from. I've lost a doctor now. He's resigned from the practice. And
so he's gone from standard conventional training to functional medicine.
Yeah, that's why. He's doing that right now.
That's awesome.
Taking time out.
Look at the impact you're already making.
No.
I just got goosebumps over my whole body. Yeah, that's so cool. And just like you say, it's absolutely not their fault. It's how they're trained.
No, it's how they're trained.
Yeah. I actually wrote about the history of the training of the medical industry in my book.
Really?
And I'm going, in the second edition, I'm going even deeper. It's very interesting what happened. I won't talk about it now, but something huge happened in 1910. And it was all about Carnegie and Rockefeller completely reshaping the entire medical landscape as we know it today to make it about drugs that they were manufacturing. It's mind-blowing when you find out the history. But anyway, back to your thing. Your success.
My thing.
Your story. That's so amazing, It's so amazing to be symptom-free when you could have been on all those medications.
Absolutely.
And
keeping someone's pocket full of cash.
Yeah. So anti-inflammatory living, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. What about kind of the mind-body stuff? Would you say you did much on relaxation, meditate, anything like that?
So at the time, before I was diagnosed with lupus, I had started to see a yoga therapist. So she was quite holistic, yoga, counselling. So we were doing one-to-one for a long time. She really helped on my journey of strength. And the day I told her I was diagnosed with lupus, she said, well, Louise Hay says, lupus is a sign of giving up. You're giving up on life. And I thought,
I just got goosebumps when you said that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love Louise Hay's stuff.
Oh, she's amazing, isn't she? She is amazing.
So did you read You Can Heal Your Life?
You can heal your life. Feel the fear, do it. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And my yoga teacher looked like Louise Hay. So I always felt like every week I've got 2 hours with Louise Hay.
Love it.
She was very into Neil Donald Walsh and all the top people. So I had her influence on my mindset, and mindset and all this positivity, and was all weird stuff back then. But she helped me visualize. We didn't do yoga. We weren't doing the tree, or we weren't standing on our head. We were literally visualizing, sitting and visualizing health, wealth, happiness. She taught me how to create that bubble of light, and you're safe, you're guided, you're protected. You can heal yourself with your mind. So around the same time, maybe a couple of years before, I had stumbled upon Paul McKenna to help with the eating disorder I had. So he helped me, his books, CDs.
So the hypnotist. Hypnotherapy,
yeah.
Sorry, hypnotherapy.
So it was very, very similar to mindset.
Yeah.
I would listen to a CD every day about you visualize your body, how you want it to look, eating the food that's good for you, and not starving and not binging and blah, blah, blah. And it was very similar to what Pat was teaching me by Louise Hay. So it was all about mindset and being in the moment, seeing how you are, seeing, feel and breathe in, feel it in your bones, let the positivity out, send it to the universe. And I just used to visualize all the time, walking into that hospital, and it's clear. You're fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
That is so. I had no idea you did that. That's so,
Yeah.
We're talking the same language completely, because this is such a huge thing, and I've been really learning about quantum physics recently, and the teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, and bringing together some really great spiritual practices. But we're living the coolest time to be alive right now, because we have all these spiritual practices being proven scientifically.
Yeah.
And all this visualization you're talking is using the principles of quantum physics. It's like the feeling is the prayer. You feel the feeling as if you're already healed. And everything you're doing is like feeling that. You're commanding your cells in your body to, as if you're, is this fair to say? Like you've already healed, and you're visualizing it so clearly that
absolutely. And you've got this light around you that's protecting you, and it's your health. You just oozing health and vitality. Exactly. What you do is about vitality. I think I was listening to something, and it could have been one of your podcasts, that if a healthy person was told they had cancer and they didn't, immediately your mind's telling you, I'm going to die, I've got cancer. So you can reverse that by telling yourself, no, I haven't got lupus, I haven't got cancer. I'm not saying you can say, oh, yeah, I've got cancer, no, I haven't. But it's mindset, isn't it, amongst all the holistic approaches.
So key. There's the placebo effect and there's the nocebo effect.
Yeah.
The placebo effect is as you know, you take a sugar pill, your mind thinks that's healing you. Yeah. So the power of your belief heals the body. And according to Bruce Lipton, at least a third of the cases in the Western world with medications, that's the results of those effects of healing that you experience are a result of the placebo effect anyway.
Yeah, I know.
The mind-body connection is insanely powerful. But the nocebo effect, just like what you just said, is we can, as much as we can believe a positive
kind of affirmation, isn't it?
Affirmation or piece of information, ultimately, to trigger a positive effect in the body. The nocebo effect is the opposite. So if someone in a position of authority, like a cancer oncologist, cancer, like an oncologist says to a patient, you've got 6 months to live, the nocebo effect says, I believe that person, they're in a position of authority, there's nothing wrong with me, it's going to shut the body down anyway. Yeah. And I'm using quite an extreme example.
No, but it's right. And if we dissect that down, and we, for whether it's the common cold or just slight ailments, we can use our mind in a positive manner to heal. Basically, I do believe it's holistic. It's a holistic approach, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah. I believe we need to cover the physical, the mental, and the emotional. I call them physical, mental, and emotional pillars of vitality. I mean, obviously for everyone, but it's and there's also a spiritual component as well. Yeah, it's just coming back to the more kind of physical kind of things you're doing. Because would you say that gut health? I mean, it's all interlinked, because gut health isn't just what we eat; it's also about relaxing the body, calming the body, and exposure to light, oxygen through exercise, and that kind of stuff. Would you say that you've really focused on healing the gut, because that seems to be the focus for most autoimmune diseases, or did you not really know?
Well, because the gut, they say the face gut connection, which is why I studied in facial acupuncture. Your face is connected to your gut, so you have to water the gut, the menopause brain. I'm sorry.
Water the gut garden.
And then, the flower will bloom. So leaky gut is massive, isn't it? Where I was brought up in the 70s, processed foods. You cut your finger, you got Calpol. or paracetamol. So my gut will have been blasted. So it's all about healing. Well, your gut, don't they say your gut? Your gut, your brain, your gut,
gut.
It's all brain, it's all connected. So I do believe healing your gut will just branch out and we'll heal the body.
Heal your gut, heal your life, heal your gut, heal your body anyway.
Yeah.
It's really quite amazing because you're clearly familiar with the term leaky gut when the gut literally allows things through the semi-permeable membrane and larger proteins like gluten and drugs and even anything really can seep through that semi-permeable membrane. It creates an inflammatory response and it can create an autoimmune response when the body starts to kind of attack itself. It's kind of weird. But it's the immune system seeing this intruder come through the gut lining and go, what the hell's that? So I believe nutrition is huge, but it's not the only piece. I mean, I think it's the first place to look because what we eat, and if we, I feel it's the first place and the most obvious place to go to. It's not going to be the be all and end all for everyone.
It's a start, though. Absolutely, and it's a start. And maybe
so I was going to say, it's how you got your results, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You got that very quickly within 6 months.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, as I say, nowadays people are more educated, can do it a lot quicker than I did it.
Really interesting point, that. Yeah.
And for me, if I have gluten by accident or purposely, the next day I literally, as soon as my feet touch the floor, the pain and the soles of my feet, the pain in my fingers, it's very very mimic to arthritis, the feelings I get. Rings won't come off, puffy face, puffy eyes. That will last for 3 days.
From one
piece of bread. Or
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Sugar does the same, but the symptoms don't last. I think it's about 24 hours, but I still have the same pain. However, also nightshade vegetables do the same. I can have the same effect of eating red pepper as though I've eaten a piece of bread because I'm sensitive to nightshade vegetables.
Nightshades, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I'm slowly introducing them again. I'm having a better effects from tomatoes at the moment, which I love. I have to cook tomatoes out, but so it's eliminating and then slowly introducing
back again. That's the Walls protocol. They talk about Terry Walls talks about removing nightshades to heal the gut, and also Dr. Amy Myers, who helps people.
Oh, she's amazing. I make her bread all the time.
Oh, nice. That's very kind of you.
I do. I've actually.
Do you send it in the post?
yeah. Well, along with the serum.
Right. I think they're brilliant books. So I lost my train of thought then. So the nightshade thing is very, very powerful. It's kind of weird because I'm thinking we've got nature's like its own pharmacy. There are the obvious culprits like the gluten, or maybe not that obvious, but the ones to us that are obvious, like the gluten, like the dairy, and potentially other grains as well. Why is the body not liking various vegetables? Why doesn't it? I'm pointing out in the garden. Why doesn't it like tomatoes and peppers? It's weird, isn't it? But it's anyway. We can't.
Yeah, Dr. Sarah Gottfried explains that really well. I've forgotten. I'd try and explain it now, but I wouldn't do it any justice. But it's something and Dave Asprey explains that very well. It's obviously everything's a living being, isn't it? It's something that the vegetable produces to protect it from the insects or
its own immunity.
Its own immunity, that has a reaction on our bodies. Yeah, but you'd have to look that up with Sarah Gottfried or Dave Asprey, but they do explain. Well, Sarah Gottfried explains it a bit more in layman's terms. Dave Asprey is very scientific. He's amazing, but he's quite scientific. But going back to, our nature is our medicine. If we think about dogs, for instance, what do they do? The first thing they do when they've got a stomach upset is they go eat a certain piece of grass or a plant.
Yeah.
They medicate themselves with nature.
Yeah, it's their own intuition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
they also make themselves sick apparently and fast.
yeah,
I heard that recently.
oh right, after they actually make themselves sick to eliminate.
Yeah, I heard
right.
that. I can't remember where I read it now or heard it, but yeah, very, very interesting.
Okay, yeah.
So coming back to the physical and the diet piece. So you're heating the gut, and you mentioned sugar earlier, and I know because we spoke, you've been using the ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
How long are you always in ketosis?
No, because it's not very good for women over a certain age.
Right. Okay.
So once we get over 40, it can mess around with our hormones. I started the ketogenic journey in Dave Asprey's early days. And it was a young trainer introduced me to, not Dave Asprey, but to the life. I was doing personal training with him. And one day he taught me about clean eating, more in depth than what I already knew. And then he said one day he put butter in his coffee, and I thought, you dirty animal. Oh my God, that's disgusting. And then I tried it, and it was Dave Asprey's bulletproof coffee. And then I found Dave Asprey, and I found Sarah Gottfried. And so I followed that protocol. So I kind of mixed the two together, because when I was 41, again, diagnosis, but I was told I was quite deep into perimenopause, which was a shock being 41. So I was offered, HRT, everything, and I again obviously refused. I wasn't taking any drugs, so I did it with natural supplements, diet again. That's how I found Sarah Gottfried, and I did a few little online courses with her and read all her books, and so that's where I learned being in ketosis when you're over a certain age is not good. I actually wonder if being in ketosis and fasting too much prior to that put me into an early menopause. That's been known.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's been known, is it? Right.
It's been known. Or was it the fact that when I was younger I had an eating disorder, so I've messed up my hormones and the immune system anyway? Or is it lupus? Who knows?
Who knows? Muscle testing might tell you.
Muscle test actually might tell me, I should look into that in the near future,
I found out that my eczema is a result of my vaccines.
Wow.
Through muscle
Interesting.
testing. Yeah.
Interesting.
He said you were totally fine before your vaccines. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't go back. Don't get me on the subject of vaccines. No. Wow.
Probably shouldn't talk about that.
Well, I could have a rant about that. I could rant about that. Yeah,
I guess being a mother of three. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. My niece got eczema after her vaccine. It's I know.
Well, yeah. My nephew is severely autistic. Was normal until his vaccine. He's 22. He still wears nappies. He's
really
section. Yeah, and then my youngest grandson, my daughter didn't want him to have vaccines. She'd given him the first one, and she decided against it. She lives in Wales, and unbeknown to me, last year, she said she didn't want him to have his second one because his first one, he didn't react very well, and they threatened her with social services if she didn't do it, which she didn't tell me.
Goodness.
He had it.
I didn't think they were that bad in this country. I knew the draconian California.
I didn't think they were this bad.
Well, Wales is not that's Wales.
South Wales, this is, and he had seizures that night. So that's a whole other argument I can go into a debate. Jesus. And as a mother, I think I vaccinated all my children. I didn't know anything different. I was a young mum. I was 19 when I had my first daughter, and you do what it's the doctors, they're God. Yeah, right. They know everything. Yeah. So I did it all. Would I do it now? Probably not now. Probably not. Probably fight my corner.
I think there's argument to be said for if you do choose to go ahead, get everything tested, get the family history and stagger them all. Yeah. If you're going to do them, stagger them. And my aunt's a naturopathic doctor, and that's what she does. She if they insist on and they really want to have them done, just do it really safely.
Do it safely, yeah. You can have them individually, can't you? And
yeah, you can.
There's certain things you can do, but yeah, I wouldn't like to be in that position. I'd hate to be a mum of young children now and having to make that decision.
Yeah,
because of the wealth of knowledge out there. I wouldn't like to.
I know. Another friend of mine, their baby got epilepsy within a week. Having these fits.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah, I know. And they're certain there's a perfect baby, and then suddenly all that stuff's going on.
Yeah.
The truth about vaccines is actually something I think everyone should watch, because it's one of those controversial topics. But when we get educated in this stuff and we actually have the information, turn off the news.
Yeah.
Leave that over there.
What's that? I don't know what that is. I don't watch that anymore.
I stopped in 2012.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Yeah.
And I actually put. Some people think I'm crazy and naive, whatever, but I actually put some of my success, the way I'm able to help people, is because I haven't been watching the news.
Yeah, it's the same for me.
Yeah, although at the same time, we probably can't all do that. But some of us can. If some of us do that, some people watch the news and we kind of. Yeah.
I choose not to watch any news.
Me too.
The last time I watched a little bit of news or listened to a bit of news by accident was before Christmas, where I'd been so relaxed, and all of a sudden I was going to be a failure from the dinner table wasn't set up by the advert that told me it was me.
Your vibration comes down. You're just like, oh.
Like, no, I'm not going there. Yeah. It's so worrying.
Yeah.
But but that's another subject, isn't it? Another story. We could be here all day.
Totally. We really could be. So just realised what time, 5+, okay, 35 minutes. So we have covered healing the gut. We've talked about the main inflammatory culprits. We didn't talk a huge amount about the plants that I'm guessing you've been consuming as medicine. Would you say you're on a majority kind of plant-based diet?
Well, at the moment I am. My body naturally rejected meat a month ago, but I think that was before I went on my retreat. I don't know. I just one day didn't feel like meat. Didn't feel like I was digesting it properly. I was taking digestive enzymes to help it along. And well, a month later, 6 weeks later, I've still not eaten meat. Although I do like, the thought of a nice piece of steak's nice. But my diet's clean. Yeah. Lots of vegetables, lots of good fats, lots of nuts, ones that aren't mouldy, lots of good quality caffeine for all the polyphenols, anti-aging, lots of blueberries.
That's good news.
And coffee's so anti-aging. I actually use the coffee granule, making the bulletproof coffee. The leftover beans, the crushed beans, they go into a pot with some essential oils, some coconut oil, and I exfoliate my whole body with that.
No way.
Yeah, that's
I
cheap.
need to start doing that.
Yeah, easy.
Do
it on my face. Yeah,
you grow my hair back?
You know I can grow your hair back. Yeah, I'll send you a little.
It's happening with the serum.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I swear it's possible. I'm gonna get rid of these wrinkles and grow my hair back.
Well, I can't see wrinkles, so like that. Yeah, it's great being vain, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure. That's funny. I'd love to talk about your serum in a second, because I think it's good stuff. So, you're healing the gut. You're doing amazing things, anti-inflammatory living, which is just kind of the key to almost reversing anything. Start with anti-inflammatory, stagger yourself, because otherwise it's going to be a shock to the system. But I think what's wonderful these days is there are so many replacements now. Yeah. If we just kind of swap out bread for a gluten-free alternative for now, and then we can kind of
wean yourself off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there's ways to stagger it. We don't have to do it all at once, because just like you said earlier, it can be way too overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've talked about mind body, which I think is phenomenally powerful. What about your kind of physical exercise, physical activity routine, movement routine? Are you active?
I can be. So I have days where I'm running around, but I need to give myself some more love at the moment. So I need to put into my daily routine. But the usual routine is I'd wake up in the morning, I'd go downstairs, do some yoga stretches. I have a teeter inversion table, a few minutes.
Love those things.
Upside down. Yeah, I have a vibration plate. So actually, if I
Nice.
don't do any exercise, I'll just stand for 10 minutes on the vibration plate
Can you-
with 2 dumbbells.
Can you explain for our viewers and listeners what the vibration plate is?
Well, it's basically just it's a step that sends vibrations right through your body, so we can go in different stages of like low sense, medium, high, and it just stimulates the blood through your body. It helps the immune system, believe it or not. It can actually strengthen bones. I used it when I broke my foot, because according to Dr. Josh Axe, a vibration plate helps bone strength. So it literally gets the blood pumping around your body without having to do anything. If you were to do a squat or a push up on a vibration plate, I think it's the equivalent of 100, because it's, you know, you're shaking and shaking.
Wow.
But it's a great sensation. You have to go out easy on it. If you go on it in the beginning on high, you may become very red and your body will itch, because it does release toxins in your body. Yeah, it's so good, and it's so good for the lazy person. Oh, this weekend I've sat doing a lot of writing on, studying on my laptop, sat still, aching. So every hour I set my alarm on my phone and just go and do 5 minutes on the vibration plate, blood pumping through my body. And if you can be bothered to do a squat on it, you can wake the next day. Yeah, and you can wake the next day feeling like you've had a bit of a workout.
Nice.
So that's what I do.
That's a brilliant bit of advice you've just given, because so many people, you know, we're living busy lives. Not many people have time or make the time to, you know, do an hour of exercise, and I totally get it. I
think all offices should have treadmill desks.
Totally.
That should be the next thing that it becomes compulsory, and schools, and you know, desks that can go high, can go low.
Yep.
Because I've worked with children with social, emotional, behavioural difficulties before, and they get shouted at so much because they can't keep still in the chair, and they might be hanging off the chair, writing on the floor, but that's what works for them. And I think there should be a bit more lenient in not having children structured in the class. Same in the workplace. Grounding. Children should go into school and take the shoes and socks off and get out on.
Totally.
And the mud every day, and be taught to breathe. And yeah, so that's my day. I'll try and do a sauna a couple of times a week.
Nice. Infrared or normal?
No, I have infrared and far red and near infrared lights for anti-aging.
Nice.
A bit like, you know, the Juve lights. But I'll use a Swedish sauna, do the old fashioned sweat it all out.
Yeah.
I'll try and do some HIIT, you know, on the treadmill, but I'm a bit lazy at the moment. But as long as I pick something.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant, yeah, it is brilliant.
And it doesn't take
20
long.
minutes.
Yeah.
15 to 20 minutes max.
If I don't have time, I'll do that. If, like, I do love running, even though I know it's not brilliant for the body. I kind of keep it to a maximum of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I always do sprints within that time, because it's so effective. It's
like the wolves of chasing you.
Yeah, exactly. Back to ancestral times. And it's you know, improves your pulmonary performance much more so than cardio. So your lung capacity and your heart stroke volume, so the amount of blood your heart pumps per beat. You can see your veins afterwards. I see it in my face. And it's like you can see how much
the blood's pumping through.
It's brilliant. So good for you. Even if you do 5-10 minutes of HIIT, it's so much
anything.
Better than,
Well, my general workout, even weighted workout, lasts a full 20 minutes. That's what we warm up.
Love it.
That's all I do.
We don't. I'm exactly the same. I don't like to spend hours in a gym. I'm in and I'm out there.
Get it done.
Yeah, do the largest muscle groups in the body, the compound exercises. Make sure it's all balanced. Do the squats. Do the bench presses, and it's. Do you know our muscles generate electricity in the body?
Wow. Well, I didn't, but it's I can understand.
Yeah, they quite literally, by strengthening and moving our muscles, it generates piezoelectricity, which is the creation of energy. I learned this very recently from someone called Dr. Jerry Tennant. He's a cellular biologist. He's a phenomenal guy, and I'm about to just writing up his stuff actually. But it's all about the body as an electrical system, and our muscles are like battery packs in the body, and it makes so much sense after you do a workout, like a lifting session or some kind of hit, particularly those two types. I feel totally energized.
Yeah, ever ready?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I found that very fascinating.
Yeah,
I could talk for another hour on the body as an electrical system and how emotions as well can actually create the imbalances and shut down various systems in the body because they're electromagnetic bundles of energy. And I'm also going to do a whole talk on EMF soon. But
oh, great!
Yeah, it's a big one. You've shared some really amazing advice. Is there anything that we might have left out that you'd love to share at this point?
Oh gosh, you're asking me. I've not written any notes. I don't remember anything.
I mean, I'd love to this would just flow and just see how it goes. Share some
I think it's the whole holistic approach. You know, we can't expect to change one thing and everything works out. But slowly but surely, what I like to say to people, if they need to change their lifestyle for health benefits or anti-aging benefits, whatever, maybe if it's hard to take something out of your life or diet, add something good in first. Once you add goodness, it's easy to take out a bit of bad. So for every bit of good, take out a little bit of bad.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. And then as soon as someone begins to feel good about themselves, they want to do more and more and more.
That's so true.
The mind body. Just get your mindset and surround yourself with people who are like-minded.
Elevate you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Be
careful. Sorry, I could say be careful what you put on your skin as well as what you put in your mouth.
Totally.
To mess around with our endocrine system.
But maybe that's a good opportunity to ask you about what you're doing with your serums, because that's, I think, let's talk about your business, because it's really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Right. Okay. So what I currently do is work on holistic therapies. Passion is anti-aging. So I specialise in facial acupuncture, which we slightly touched on before. I also qualified as an aromatherapist. So everything I've done for myself over the years, putting products on the skin, being qualified to mix, I created an anti-aging serum. The serum is mixed with various essential oils and carrier oils, which will benefit the skin, the body, tighten, replenish. But the smell is really, really important to me. And I think smell is a bit like music. It can take you back to a happy place or it can take you to a sad place. So many, many years ago, when I was going through a bad time, I bought a certain brand of perfume. And from that day, it was the smell of freedom. So when I've made my serum, there's a note in there which is ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is a natural mood lifter. So the serums together are all about tightening the skin, rejuvenating the skin, reducing fine lines and wrinkles. And then we've got that note that'll stimulate the brain. So menopause, PMT, depression, it can help lift. So I don't want people just to put the serum on the face and think, oh, is it working? Everyone who's tried my serum, the first thing they say is, oh, the smell. I love the smell.
Is that note in the one you sent me?
It should be, yeah. It should be.
Okay.
No, have I done a manly one for you?
I've
done a manly one. I've got all the...
You do one slightly different, I think.
Yeah. What I'll do, I'll send you that one.
Okay.
I'll send it again this week. Because I sent you the one without coral in. There's actually an algae acetanthan in it, which gives it a coral colour. So when women put on the face, there's a natural tint to it. So people are not wearing makeup when they're wearing this. Don't feel they need to wear makeup, although it's a great barrier. But yeah, so it's all about tightening, anti-aging, looking good, feeling good, and the smell is to uplift the mind and the mood.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So if someone were to want to sample some of your anti-aging serums, where can they find you?
Right, so the shop goes live on the website today.
Oh, really?
So we're taking back
Wow.
orders today. Yeah. So you can go to the website, which is www.njbageless.co.uk.
Love it. That's awesome. I'm excited to, I've only been using it for like a couple of days. So I'm excited to see my
I'll send you
age.
some more this week. Oh yeah. You look 21 in a few weeks' time.
Wonderful.
You look well for your age anyway, do you?
I'm 74.
You do. No, amazing. That's absolutely.
Thank you. So I'd love to finish. I always ask people, what would be your number one vitality secret?
Self-love. Nice. So
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Well, if we don't love ourselves, we can't expect anyone else to love us.
Yeah.
So love yourself by giving yourself time. What the food you put into your body, the products you put on your skin, the people you surround yourself with. Get out in nature. Put you even in your garden every morning. Just go out, take your shoes off on the grass, or buy a grounding mat. Have fun. And I know there's an 80-20 rule people follow. I have a life. I like to have a drink. When I do have a drink, I'll choose the cleanest quality. I've got loads of drink hacks. People who are interested in it, if they do really need to have a drink. That's a lot of people's vices. They worry, alcohol. I do enjoy a drink now and again. And it's mind, body, spirit.
I love how I asked for one vitality secret and you give me.
Sorry, you can have them all. I keep no secrets.
It's all right. You've over-delivered. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Nick. You've shared some really amazing information there. And
thank you.
I'm sure it was
been great.
I'm sure it's going to impact a lot of people and give people that inspiration they need to go on that journey themselves. And I love what you said earlier. It doesn't have to take that long. It's just you did all this self-study, didn't you? Which kind of elongated the process, but it can be much quicker.
Oh, so much. A couple of months' time, and people can just feel totally rejuvenated, new people. And I think they've got the likes of yourselves and Google, yourself and Google out there.
Yeah, just between me and Google, you're good.
Google, save the world.
I'm going to partner with Google for a bit.
Yeah, you do that. But there's so much out there for people, so much help, so many people out there, so many knowledgeable people, so many healing energies and plants and things that we can do. I mean, we can go into the CBD and all the things that I wish were out when I was, first diagnosed. I'd have taken a lot, and I still will, for whatever reason. Yeah, I think just be open-minded. That's a big thing. Be open-minded and don't be afraid to say no.
Brilliant advice. Be open-minded. I think I'm of the opinion that the body will heal anything. Mm-hmm. I used to limit it to exclude certain things, but now I know it will heal anything, even the really incurable stuff.
Absolutely believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just a matter of creating that environment in the body, isn't it? And we now know that every single organ, every tissue, every part of the body is designed to heal itself in the right environment. Yeah. So if we can just take it upon ourselves to learn how to do that, and remain open-minded the whole time and understand that the body's constantly trying to heal, it's constantly trying to be in a state of balance, then we can kind of allow it to do that. That's it.
And listen to your body, learn what your body is telling you. So we often don't listen to our bodies, so I think that's one of the first steps. Listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Symptoms are there as messengers, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
They're there to give us a little beautiful communication. I think the body's so clever. I know. We just have to listen. Yeah. Great. Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you so much.
It's been amazing.
It's been really good chatting to you.
And I'll put a link for your website below, but it's njbageless.com.
Yeah. .co.uk.
Oh, sorry, .co.uk.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll put a link to that underneath that video.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you for listening to the Vitality Secret podcast. If you like this, please leave a 5-star rating. And if you loved it, please take a few minutes to leave a review. The more ratings and reviews that are left, the easier it is for this life-changing information to get into the hands of people who need it. Don't forget to join my free 7-day program and ignite your inner healer at vitalitysecret.com.